Hello and welcome to the FPL Double Up podcast on Fantasy Football Hub's YouTube channel. Welcome everyone. There's some regulars in the comments as always, Wes. Very happy to see Super Duper in there, straight in at the start of the comments. Shiria, Devadis 39, Richard Saunders, who's there, Jorg, Rich P, FPL as always, Nick Lafuno Stein, and there's loads more. Paul H, Darius, Hike New, Buckers, James A, Hassan Jabber, and Cahill McHale says, how are you, man? And we'll leave it there for now. Wes, how's your week been? Hopefully your audio sounds much clearer for everyone this week.
Yeah, let us know, guys. We met up earlier this week to make sure the audio was locked down, and yeah, it's just technical issues, but we're sorted now, we hope. My week has been good, John. My FPL game week last week was an absolute car crash, which I'm sure people will be entertained to hear my little story on what went wrong. We'll get into that in a bit. But yeah, all good.
Yeah, I'm the same. Bit of a car crash, which is a shame. Yeah. You can see, I think.
Just quickly on that topic, John, just to derail, as we always do, derail us slightly before you carry on with all the intro stuff. Just to, we spoke about this in the week, didn't we, about how to sort of deal. You know, we've seen a lot of people have bad game weeks and maybe get a bit too upset for them. I had a shocking game week. I've had shocking game weeks every year for the last 7-8 seasons. You can still end up with a good rank even when you have a bad week. So just, get annoyed by it at the start. Obviously, I'm not saying never get annoyed by FPL. I get annoyed all the time, but then get over it, move on, be happy, go outside, have a walk, or whatever you need to do, and just crack straight on.
I feel like it's one of those where I'm wondering how do I dance around this without making everyone hate me. FPL, right?
Yeah,
for me, Wes, it's one of those where if anyone should be able to get annoyed, it's people like you or people who do FPL full time. Because you should be able to throw the toys out of the pram because your living quite literally depends on where you finish every season.
Yeah.
But my living doesn't depend where I finish every season. And I know a lot of people invest a lot of time and love the game, and I get it. But if it does get to the point where you're really angry and actually shouting at the wife and kids over it, you probably need to look at why you're playing the game. To me, it almost feels like people get to the stage where it impacts them the same as losing a bet. It's they're overexposed. They're maybe not overexposed financially, they're overexposed emotionally, and it's just as bad. So I see a lot about it on Twitter this week. If something like FPL is really keeping you up at night, and I know it's something you love, and I know it's keeping you up at night because you love it so much, it might be harder to let it go, but you really need to have a look at it and step back. And look, this maybe this has went down a tangent I didn't expect, Wes, but look, if anyone genuinely wants to have a talk about that, reach out to either of us. We're both people who love the game, but if it's driving you mad, give us a wee message. Let's have a wee Skype. Let's have a chat about it.
Yeah, I think like I said, it is meant to be fun, and it is. When you like something that much, let's say I play five-a-side every week, I get, if I miss an easy chance, I'll be annoyed with myself. But it's about getting over it as quickly as possible, and that's the same in FPL or whatever else you want to do. Any of the game you play, it's a natural emotion to be annoyed by something, but to let it drag you down for a sustained period of time isn't right. We're only in game week 10 as well. Long way to go. Like I said, you can still achieve your sort of aims for beating your mini league rivals and all stuff like that. So there's no need to panic. I've had loads of horror weeks. We all know about my bench boost story last year. This week I transferred out players who all got double figure hauls for people who all blanked, and I took a -4. So yeah, it was just an absolute car crash. But you get annoyed by it, you then laugh at it, and then you get over it and think about something else, and you look forward. More importantly, that's gone. You can't change that. You can't do anything about it. So wallowing's not going to do anything. Look forward to next game week and then obviously go again.
I'm going to derail us just like you did, except in something a little more lighthearted, right? I was away with work for the week, and I stayed in a hotel, which I love. I love getting away, staying in the wee hotel, come back from work, having a wee pint and a steak, and then, maybe going for a wee swim in the pool, whatever else. This hotel on the 3rd of November had its Christmas decorations up. And I pulled out a mug for my coffee this morning, and it was a Christmas mug. Now, you can't see it, Wes, but I'm displaying it to the masses. And my question to you, just to get us kicked off lighthearted and lose all our viewers who want to hear about FPL, what date for you is acceptable to start to get excited for Christmas?
I'm a December man. December 1st onwards,
I'm exactly the same. The same. December the 1st, we'll go and get a tree and we'll buy in. But you see all this the day after Halloween malarkey? Not for me.
Yeah, luckily I'm not in an office anymore. But when I was, people putting decorations up in the office and talking about it non-stop in November. did my head in. But yeah, now luckily I'm away from all that.
That said, if it's November 18th and someone says we go out for pints, I'll justify it as, well, it's Christmas. Do you know?
Oh yeah, if it needs to be justification for like eating crap or drinking those, then yeah, it's fine.
It's Christmas. Do you know? Yeah. Sure. Like, why would we bother going and cooking? Let's just get takeaway. It's Christmas on November the 5th.
Do that in August.
Yeah, do that in August. So. Right, look, thanks a million to everyone in the comments. Right, we've done nothing but not talk FPL, but you can expect FPL now solid for the next 50 to 55 minutes. Do us a favour, give us a wee like to get the stream off the ground. Subscribe to the channel, and you know what? If you don't know if you like us yet, that's fine. Just don't forget to do it at the end. Please. We're gonna flip the stream on its head because what are we, Wes? We're crazy. We're just two crazy guys.
We're too crazy for our own good, John.
Sometimes I actually think, like, how can it be that two guys that crazy are allowed to stream FPL? It's mad. We're flipping the stream on its head. People won't know what to do. We're going to start with quick fire questions. What? Yeah, we're starting with them, not finished with them. So, I have my timer here. We're going to give this 11 hard minutes. Maybe 12 or 13 if there's good questions. Wes, what we want from people is A or B questions or yes or no questions. That's what we want.
Yeah. So, and if it goes well and all the interaction's good, come the end of the stream, we might do another 5 minutes at the end for the people who did miss out. But let's smash it out now.
Paul H says I have great teeth. Thanks, Paul. All genetic, no braces here, baby. So thanks for that. That's nice. I need that. Do you know? I don't get enough compliments here. People always make fun of me being fat. No one ever compliments my teeth, Wes.
So, lovely teeth. Beautiful.
Yeah, I'll take that. Okay. Dave saying your pods are fab as well. David, we're getting all the compliments. People are getting into the Christmas spirit. Right, CR7 or go to Kane?
I'd give Kane one more week.
CR7 or go to Kane?
Yeah, because I think, is this a question that says keep CR7, yeah?
Yeah, keep CR7 go to Kane. You said give Kane one more week.
Yeah, no, as in, sorry, that's not very clear. What I mean is watch him for one more week and then decide whether to bring him in. And as you've already got CR7, it's a transfer to another player. If you were, say, wildcarding, then out of the two, I'd pick Kane, but I wouldn't be using a transfer to get Kane in right now because he's still not looking. I know Conte's in and I know he will improve, etc., etc. But I watched him in the Europa League last night. Still didn't look great. So I want to see a 12 million asset has to be performing for me. So yeah, watch him versus Everton. If he does well, then bring him in. Should
this guy Avan Somar get James or Chilwell? Now, do we want to derail this completely and talk about that, or do we want to say stay tuned for 20 minutes time?
Stay tuned because it is going to be a big talking point, and I can't answer it quick fire because I need the answer for my own team. So if someone can quick fire answer that for me, then I'll be happy. In the comments, actually, just right now. Oh, this might derail the questions.
We'll do it later. What I'm going to say to you now is, we're going to talk about that probably in 20-25 minutes, and we're going to go in depth.
And I literally couldn't give you the answer right now because that's the same debate I've got for my own team, and I haven't answered it for my own team yet. So yeah, I can't. I literally couldn't answer that.
Zaha, yes or no? I think there's worse. I don't know about the fixtures, but I haven't checked.
My bias says no. We'll have a look at the fixtures a bit later, won't we? But yeah, let me just check Palace fixtures. My bias says no again because I just kind of think of Zaha as not a very good FPL asset. I think of him as a great footballer and a very exciting player. And Palace are a lot better under Vieira. Their fixtures are Wolves, Burnley, then Villa. So it's 3 nice fixtures. And then, 4 nice fixtures because they've got Leeds after that. I mean, oh God. I'm not against him anymore, to be fair, because of how well Palace are playing, how well he's playing, and a better attacking outfit under Vieira rather than Hodgson. So, yeah, I'm not anti-Zaha.
I'm not against it. I just think there's probably a better option, but maybe not.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think that's how I kind of would categorise it. I think he is on penalties this season as well because our hairlines and beards are getting compliments, John, as well. So that is very much appreciated. Keep them coming.
Our hairlines, me and you are like the werewolf gang. We don't have a receding hairline. We have preceding hairlines. We're very similar in that respect.
We're too hairy. What was I trying to say about Zaha? Yeah, Palace very much more attacking under Vieira. And that's my point. Zaha seems to be taking penalties this season, so that's another route to points for him as well. Rather than like last year, it was probably like Milivojevic or whoever. So yeah, Zaha. Yeah, I'm not against him. I just wouldn't bring him into my team. And I think you're kind of the same as that, John.
Yeah, something like that. So next one. Where was I? Bench Gray or Livramento? I actually have this debate this week. This is my team debate.
Yeah, I think I'd bench Livramento out of those two. I could go wrong, couldn't it? Let me just double check.
We always
Let me
tend to
just
favour
think
the
about-
attacking option. I think Livramento
We
has
do.
Villa, doesn't he, at home, and then
Yeah,
Gray has, is it Spurs away or so?
Spurs at home. But Spurs are fairly leaky, aren't they? So from an attacking point of view, I'd say that's a decent enough fixture for
You,
Gray. I know Everton are a bit decimated with injuries, and will they be able to score the goals, and will Gray be able to contribute? It's
new
tough.
manager bounce over at Spurs,
Yeah, I don't know.
or new manager catastrophe. Who knows?
These 50-50s are tough, aren't they?
Flip a coin.
Yeah,
I think I'm edging towards Livramento.
really. To not sit on the bench, I will say Gray, but it is one of those where I'm not saying that Gray's going to smash it and Livermento's going to blank. It could easily backfire, but those are the real marginal calls in FPL that are hard to get right.
I think Gray is more likely to give you 5 points, but Livramento has a higher peak. I think Livramento could, on his day, grab a goal based on what he's been doing recently and keep a clean sheet. Whereas I think Gray, I don't see him scoring 2 goals against Spurs personally. So I kind of that's my logic. I feel like Livramento has a higher upside, but maybe I'm talking out of my arse. So, any ideas on Tony Captain? So I'm going to phrase that for him. Tony Captain, yay or nay?
Sorry, just quickly, John L in the comments said quick fire questions, ... but not quick fire answers.
Right, let's speed this up. Come on, let's be more ruthless. Yeah,
it's a good point. It's a good point.
we've literally done 5 questions so far, so come on, we need to speed this up.
Right. Okay. So it was Tony for captain, wasn't it?
Yay or nay?
Nay.
Nay. Okay. Rafinha or Mbuemo?
Rafinha. Mbuemo, sorry.
Okay.
But I forgot Norwich at home temporarily.
Rich P
I know Tony's got
is
captain.
trolling us
Go on.
with James and Chilwell. He's going to have to wait. Who does
Who
this
said
guy?
that?
Who does James? Rich P's asking this question again.
Get
James
out of here,
Vincent.
Rich.
James Vincent loves the channel. Does he bench Antonio Cancelo or Rudiger?
I won't want to bench Antonio. I'd probably bench Cancelo. I'm not saying Man United are great.
Cancelo,
but I think
that's
they'll
your
probably
answer.
score.
Let's go. Bench
Sorry,
Livramento or Gallagher?
These questions are too hard. I need to see context. Bench Livramento or Gallagher. But I bench Livramento in that
Do
scenario.
you start Gray or Diaz?
Gray.
Do you start a double Chelsea defence or Cancelo in place of one?
Depends if it's Reece James and Chilwell play both of those. Yeah.
My wild card will be active next week. Give me 2 must-have players, please. Okay, 2 must-have players for a wild card. Mo Salah and...
Yeah. I must have. I'll say Son because of the fixture list.
That's enough. Mo Salah and Son. I'm really trying to keep you under wraps here, as I know you feel you need to justify it, but do you know what we want? We want you to say things with no explanation that are controversial so that people go mad and give us engagement. That's what we want, so don't explain it. Pick 2 to start. Livramento, Gray or Grealish?
Bench Grealish in that scenario.
Bench Grealish, the City forward. We'll not talk about it. Rafinha or Jimenez?
Jimenez.
I suppose, yeah, sorry, I'm still thinking about Grealish. I need to move on. Kane will be the perfect choice with... Nope, not a question. Go for Spurs players, question mark, yes or no?
Personally, I think wait 1 week.
Wait 1 week, that'll do. Emil Smith-Rowe or Mbuemo?
Let's just quickly look at the fixtures. Who have Arsenal got again?
While Wes is looking, hello Chad Van Dalen. How are you today?
Arsenal got Watford at home. You've got to play both of those, haven't you? They're playing against 2 poor defences. I know that's not the question though, so I'll say favour Smith Rowe. He's got the better current form, whereas Mbuemo's got that injury sort of issue that might hinder him. So yeah, Smith Rowe.
Do you bring in Chilwell this week or save the transfer for the international break?
I've got the same dilemma as that. Maybe I should save or maybe I should bring him in. So I guess we'll chat about that later. Depends who obviously you're playing in those positions. I'd probably play Livramento if I saved, but I'd then bench Livramento if I make the transfer. So I've got to kind of weigh that up. So yeah, weigh up how good your team will be without the transfer and vice versa, if you know what I mean.
Son or Kane?
Son right now, 100%.
Reece James or Emil Smith-Rowe as a 1 week punt?
Reece James.
Azpilicueta to Chilwell or James? Or save the transfer?
I guess that's going to have to... Again, it's that's basically Chilwell versus James, isn't it? So we're going to chat about that later. I don't know is the answer.
Yeah,
I
we'll
need
talk
to know
about it
my
later.
team.
Okay, that's another. Okay, I'm going to leave out any Chelsea defender question.
Yeah.
Uh, Captain Tony or Captain Salah? We're going to get into that later, but
Yeah, we're gonna have a look at captain later, but yeah, I wouldn't be captaining the Brentford assets. I know they've got Norwich, but Tony's not. I've got Tony in my team, and I've got them both in my team actually. They're not setting the world alight. They're not good enough captaincy options, despite the fixture, in my opinion. So I would stick with someone like Salah, maybe a Chelsea defender, maybe even Vardy against Leeds, but I wouldn't be going for the Brentford boys. Just quickly, John, I've seen a question why I should pick out the other one, and it's quite an interesting one just to learn for the future as well. So it says this guy here says it's Flying Dutchman. He says the FPL app says Firmino is 75%. But what do you think the actual percentage of him playing? I think the actual percentage of him playing is zero. How FPL do it is they have either 0, 25, 50 or 75% or 100% obviously. And that's just based off what the manager actually physically confirms. And because Klopp hasn't 100% ruled him out, FPL won't do that either. So yeah, take them with an absolute massive pinch of salt and check places like Ben Dinnery's Twitter, Colm v Hayes' Twitter, Fantasy Football Hub's Twitter tweets a lot of injury news as well. But yeah, so that's injuries in general. But for the Firmino part of it, I'd say there's 0% chance he plays, in my opinion.
yeah, very good. I've got up to Michael Ritchie's comment there, complimenting our hairlines and beards. There's a fur in forever. Does he start Armstrong? Hassan, does he start Armstrong?
Again, if you've got a decent enough alternative to play, say someone like a Livramento, I'd probably favour Livramento. If your first sub's garbage like Brownhill, then yeah, play Armstrong. But yeah, I'm worried with Brozier being back fit for Southampton. Shea Adams scored last week. Could those two be the two strikers? Quite possibly. So yeah, I don't think Adam Armstrong looked like he was nailed on. Now he's not looking nailed on at all, in my opinion.
This guy, where was it? I just seen it. Yeah, Alan wants to know: do you just mainstream go captain it and go Salah, or do you give Kane the new manager punt? For me, it's Salah, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be captaining a player that's not looking good at the minute in Kane, so I wouldn't do it. And again, that isn't gonna. It's not us like that can't come back on us and be like, "Oh, I told you so." Just let's say Kane has a brace this week and Salah blanks. I'd still stand by that decision, 100 times out of 100. So, yeah, for me, I wouldn't be doing that.
yeah, me and you are very, very. Is it risk averse or risk adverse?
It's risk averse, I think.
I always get it wrong. Anyway, risk
Let's
whatever
know.
verse.
Yeah.
I always mess that one up. And I know I'm being judged by one person, Andy Armstrong, in the comments, who might watch this after. But anyway,
even just quickly to get a little bit more detail on that one. I think it isn't just about the being risk averse. It's also about what your eyes are seeing and form being such a big factor. And West Ham are leaking goals as well. So Salah's still a really good captaincy shout. I know it's kind of boring and everyone's doing it, but forget all that stuff and just pick whoever's best. If everyone was going to captain Salah, but he wasn't the right choice, and Kane was a better choice, I'd be saying go Kane. So it's more about picking. I don't think Kane's in any sort of form to be captain material right now. Maybe if he had Norwich at home, it's more of a, okay, let's take a bit of a gamble on him coming back to form. But Everton away, no.
Do you think KDB will return in the derby?
Don't know.
Remember KDB was the guy.
Yeah, not really interested. It's not an FPL asset. I mean, it's too expensive and his injury worries over the last year or so. It just means his minutes get really managed, and for his price, can't really justify him in our teams, especially when someone like Foden is 3 or 4 million cheaper and doing better from an FPL point of view.
Buckers wants to know, is Cornet a good long-term option?
Yeah, he's looking really good for Burnley. He's the type of player they really needed. Actually, sort of an exciting flair, a good attacking player who can score goals from sort of wing midfield. They've always been quite a steady team, haven't they, Burnley? But he's like a real talent. So yeah, and he's backing that up with his goals per minute ratio must be one of the best in the league. So yeah, I mean, I like him. I'm just quickly looking at their fixtures. Obviously, it's Chelsea away, but after that, Crystal Palace, Tottenham, Wolves, Newcastle, and West Ham. 5 decent enough games for attacking returns, I'd say.
Do you go Rafinha to Son for a free transfer, or go into the international break with 2 frees?
I'd go into it with 2 frees, and then you can get Son ahead of their really nice fixtures. I know Everton's still an alright fixture, but Rafinha's got an alright fixture this week as well, hasn't he? Against a leaky Leicester side, I think, at home, just off the back of a nice goal versus Norwich.
I think Tom sounds like he wants to keep him, because he's given me a reason there justifying keeping him, saying that Leicester have conceded 40% of chances down Rafinha's side. Bench one of these.
that's just very quickly. They've conceded a lot of goals, Leicester as well, and have got like maybe 1 or 2 clean sheets in the last 15 games in all competitions or something like that. So yeah, they're there for the taking. There's points in that for Rafinha, I think.
Bench one of these: Armstrong, Hwang, Townsend.
Armstrong.
Foden or Mount.
Foden all day long.
Sarr, Cornet or Emile Smith Rowe.
Smith Rowe. I did just pick up Cornet, but I like Smith Rowe as well, so Smith Rowe.
Aubameyang is a differential captain. Ballsy, but why not?
He's got a good home record. He's got a good home goal scoring record this season. Aubameyang. He's playing Watford at home, so that's a more of a legitimate shout this week than Kane, in my opinion. So I'm not against that. DG's given out to us about not being a quick fire enough, which is fair. There's got to be we're doing a bit better now. It's quick fire on some and giving a little bit of context where needed.
Hudson Sin says he's just come over from So Far So ... So this is Hudson, who's listening to my podcast, So Far So Rare. So if anyone's into it, go. I'm just giving myself a plug there because Hudson's giving me an excuse. Start Gray or Diaz? This has been asked before, I think.
Yeah, I think Gray.
Oh my god, I'm like 100 comments behind. Yeah, we're not getting through all these.
Someone's asking us about Mason Mount news. I think I saw a video of him I did. A Chelsea video. They were doing like some jokey, kicky up thing, and Mason Mount was involved in that. So my guess is he's back, but I don't know. Check that we're not sort of injury news guys experts as such. There are people like Ben Dinnery on Twitter, Colin Hayes on Twitter, so you can check out for more up-to-date news on that.
Right, we'll do 2 or 3 more, and then we'll go into the meat of the pod, and then maybe we'll finish with a couple if we've time. Broja or Hwang for 1 week?
Oh, I'm a bit worried about Southampton rotating their forwards, so Hwang, I think.
Hwang. Trossard for a 1 week punt?
For a 1 week punt, Newcastle at home. Yeah, why not? He scored against Liverpool, didn't he? I keep trying to get these biases out of my own head, but I've got biases sort of against him because he's always a player that I've missed him when he's done well. I've bought him in, he's done bad for me. I've transferred him out, he's done points. So, yeah, I do have a negative bias against him, rightly or wrongly. But yeah, for a 1 week punt, it's absolutely fine at home to Newcastle.
And I'm going to finish this. Help Paul H out here. He's looking for the best defender under 4.5. I think MU News is saying Aitnuri or Livra, and they're having a bit of a chat, which is lovely to see. Anyone else you'd throw in there? Or
Aitnuri was someone who'd piqued my interest. There's a left back for Arsenal, but I know Tierney's coming back from an injury, so he's probably not going to play, but he's so attacking. It's Nuno Tavares, I think, only 4.3. If Tierney gets a long-term injury, I'm going to be on him for sure. But yeah, under 4.5. I still really like Loughton. He's in my team. He's 4.4. He's got more attacking returns than Trent this season, than Robertson, than João Cancelo. So yeah, I like Loughton, and the fixtures after this Chelsea game are pretty good for clean sheets as well. So
did you say Loughton has more attacking returns than Trent?
He does. I tweeted about this, and some people replied saying, "Oh yeah, but you haven't backed in clean sheets." And I was like, "Well, yeah, I know, but still, Loughton's got more attacking returns than Trent."
That is mad.
They both got 3 assists, and Loughton's just got the 1 goal on top of that as well from memory. And I think Cancelo's got 2 assists.
That's actually mad, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's crazy. Now I know Trent got 2 assists in the Champions League this week, and I'm sure he's another 1 or 2 there. Whatever.
But
for the price, by the end of the season. But I mean, that's not the point. It's still imagine the odds you would have gotten that going into the season. Loughton have more attacking returns after a third of the season almost. That's crazy. Yeah. Anyway,
he's one of those who's normally quite a steady player, not that attacking. But I have noticed this season he because he was in my team. When they're in your team, you keep a close eye on them, don't you? And he had a header in the box a couple of weeks ago that just went over the bar. So it's like, I'm surprised to see Loughton in the box heading across, and that's how he scored again. So yeah, he's added a little bit more attack threat to his game, which is nice. And he's under 4.5. He's not amazing. He's not necessarily going to set the world alight, but he's a decent enough option at that price range.
Last one, and then we'll maybe do some more at the end. So don't think your question's never going to be answered. I'm sorry. There's just so many of them, which is amazing. Paul Spencer wants to know: does he captain Salah or Norman?
Very good for that. It's got to be Big Norman. He looked
Big Norman.
I watched the Norwich game. He is a good footballer, to be fair, and he did nearly score in the first half versus Leeds. I wanted him to score just purely for this podcast, but there's questions coming on Spurs defenders as well, and we're going to do a whole section on Spurs coming up. So just keep watching. We won't bother doing that on a quick fire question.
Yeah, So Wes, look, we'll run into a few topics we wanted to cover. If people enjoyed that, please do like the video and subscribe, whatever else, you know. Very quickly, we'll do this in 2-3 minutes, so don't worry, we're not going to sit and chat about our own teams all day, but I'll run through my team quickly, and then maybe we can run through your team. I don't know, is it on your Twitter or something? Like, is there somewhere I could get it, I'm just thinking, or do you want to just tell us about it?
Yeah, should I try and bang you a link on Twitter? I can briefly tell you about it.
I have it here. I have a photo. I'll pull it up in a second, yeah. So I'll go over here now. I'll actually just pull you straight up.
Yeah.
Or
so
not.
If it's, do you want me to start talking about it now, John, or wait a second?
I've messed this up. Give me a second. I'll just do mine first, maybe. I've wrecked everything, apparently. This isn't. Oh, there we go. So here's my team. Maybe it'll work now. So I'll do my team quickly, Wes, and then we'll go into yours. So I got 42 points with a -4, which is a real shame. I got rid of Ronaldo, Benrahma, and I got rid of Lucas Dean. I took a -4, and yeah, that didn't work out. So basically everyone blanked apart. Livramento got me 6 points, Rudiger and Chilwell doing the business, and Salah captain. Everyone else blanked, 42 points, 38 net, and yeah, just not a great game week. Which is a balls. And your team's up on the screen now, Wes, if you want to talk about it quickly.
Exactly. We got the same score, John, 42 and -4. So yeah, we both literally netted 38 points. And your transfers out went against you because I think Benrahma got an assist and obviously Ronaldo did the business. But yeah, I was the same as you, but even worse because I took out Gallagher, who got the assist and the goal away at City. So on paper, it seemed like a good transfer. Obviously, taking out an underperforming midfielder away at City, but football unpredictable, isn't it? So yeah, and I took Ronaldo out as the cash cow. And I was thinking with Ronaldo, I did back him for a goal against a poor Spurs side, but I was thinking one goal for Ronaldo. The rest of my transfers in will sort of make it worth it because I brought in Trent, I brought in Foden, and I brought in Tony, who had a good fixture. But yeah, if I didn't do that the -4 to bring Trent in, I'd have had both Livramento. I'd have started Livramento, who came in for Umbremo for my team, and then Loughton would have been first sub, who would have then came in instead. So not only did I took out Duffy, who blanked, but I actually would have had Loughton there. So I'd have had my transfers probably, if I'd have forgot the deadline, I'd have probably had an extra 40 points.
Yeah, that's good.
Maybe that. Yeah, no,
a lot anyway, because even seeing Ramsdale on the bench there is kind of grim.
Oh yeah, and that benching decision. So if I'd have got that right, plus my those three players, it would have been literally 50 points because 14 for Loughton, 13 for Gallagher, 12 for Ronaldo, and the -4. I know the blankers they get their appearance points, don't they? But something like 40 or 50 points, something ridiculous. So yeah, this is what I was talking about at the top of the show. We basically had a little segment for people who've just joined, saying sort of like, if you have a bad week, get annoyed by it on the Saturday and get over it by the Sunday. Basically, was my kind of take home from that, or my sort of main point, and that was what I had to do. I was annoyed that Ronaldo and Gallagher smashed it and Loughton smashed it on my bench, but there's nothing to do about it. I know that by the end of the season, I should be able to still achieve a good rank from here because I'm still ranked fairly well. We both were in a decent enough position to attack the season, John, and finish in the top 10k, top 20k, or wherever. So that's how I look at it. I don't get too down about a single game week. If this was game week 38 and I'd have dropped right the way down, then yeah, I'd be annoyed for a bit longer. But my point I'm making is I have 6, 7, 8 years of playing this or whatever it is. Every single season, I have multiple occasions where I have really, really bad game weeks, and everyone does, and you can still achieve good ranks.
Last season, you had a similar thing where you were way up there, and then you fell down to about 180, 200k, if I remember. It mightn't have been this early in the season, it might have been a bit later, but then you got it right back. Would you finish like 7k or something?
Exactly, yeah. So I'm 207k now. I think I dropped to 200. I think it's the same. I think it was 207k, something like that. After that, and it was that horror show where I did a -8. I left all the good players on the bench. Thought to click bench boost. I hadn't. That absolute rookie error. So that was a horrific game week for me. But you still got, and that just proves that, like you said, it was late on in the season. That was about game week 18ish. So if last season game week 18 I was 207k and ended up top 8k, then there's no reason why I can't do it this season when it's only the end of game week 10 or 11 or whatever, So yeah, plenty of time. No need to panic. Bad game weeks will happen every single season. You'll get at least 5 to 10 bad game weeks minimum, and you can still do well. People in the top 1k will have those weeks as well. So you can't go through a whole season without having game weeks like this. This was an extreme example with the kind of the points we sort of both transferred out, John, especially me. But yeah, it's just one of those. You just got to get over it. It's one game week. We move on.
Is this our anniversary? Or is this near to it?
Oh, can't remember. We spoke about this the other day, didn't we?
Yeah, I think it's close. I think it's pretty much. We'll check it out after, but this could be one of those awkward things where we both forgot our anniversary.
Yeah.
And then we're both scrambling for a late present. But anyway, big shout out to Colin Bugler in the comments. They're saying he's apologising for being late. No need to apologise, Colin. Had to go little shopping, but he's already hit the like button. Now that's a true friend of the show there.
Love it. And yeah, sorry, go on.
No, there's nothing else. I was just going to jump over to our fixtures graphic.
Yeah, do that, yeah.
I will. So let me see. We'll have to get rid of this one. And we'll do this one. And here it is. So this is from Fantasy Football Hub. If you're interested in joining, I believe there's a link in the description, Wes, is there?
Yeah, there is, yeah.
You can have a look there. But this is a graphic we pulled from there. So it shows obviously Brentford at the top. I think Norwich are probably a big factor there. And I'm looking forward to this weekend just with Tony there. Hopefully he breaks that sort of goal drought. But as always, he's looked pretty creative. He always does. But Tottenham, Newcastle, Brighton all up there, Chelsea, Leicester, and then Norwich down at the bottom on the other end. Watford aren't looking great. West Ham, Everton, Villa, Wolves, and United. Anything jump out at you here?
Yeah, so like you kind of touched upon there, Brentford, which is why Mbeumo or Mbomo, however you say it, and Tony should be good options now going forward. And interestingly, Tottenham's kind of the perfect storm of new manager, a very good manager, and the fixtures to then almost, Conte's not got to start with a load of tough fixtures. He's actually starting with a lot of easy fixtures. So yeah, their assets should do well. I know. I am my thoughts with Kane are wait and see one more week. With Son, I'd happily jump on that. If I was bringing in a midfielder and I could afford Son in one move, for example, I would do it. But their defenders, again, I will wait and see, despite their fixtures, because they conceded 2 goals last night under Conte. Conte hasn't got a magic wand where he can just come and get clean sheets from a poor defensive outfit. He will need time on the training ground to get his system in place, his 3-5-2 or wherever it is. I think it was a 3-4-3 last night, actually. But three centre-backs anyway, and wing-backs. We know that's going to happen. So yeah, wait and see there. There are some good, cheap defensive assets that should emerge in the next couple of weeks, like sort of Reguilon at left wing-back. I think it was Emerson Royale at right wing-back last night. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, they could become options. But right now, I'd be avoiding the Spurs defence. Do you agree with that, John?
Yeah, I think Spurs defence just a bit too leaky. I mean, Conte should come in and really solidify that. He really should come in and just... There should be a really tight outfit. Conte will make them all attack, make them all defend, and I think, for me, long term, it's been said a lot. I think Reguilon could become a standout performer for them if Conte comes in and has his way.
Yeah.
Along with even Matt Doherty or Emerson, depending who he favours. But for short term, I'd leave it a few weeks, maybe till they get the kind of Conte system down and he sort of stamps his authority on the squad. God knows what they look like in the short term. So. Again, a lot of people are going to want the punt, and I mean, fair play to you. Good luck with it. But for me, I have Son. That's enough for me. I'm not going to be chasing Kane or any sort of defenders.
Yeah, that's the thing with players like Kane. People say, "Oh, yeah, he's got good fixtures now, and Conte's in, so take a punt on him." But he's too expensive to be punting on for me. I want to see Kane return to better form. And just to go back to your Reguilon point, he looked fairly attacking last night from what I saw of the Europa Conference League game as well. So. In terms of his position, as you'd expect, as the left wing back getting forward. So yeah, I think he'll be a good asset sooner rather than later. Back to the fixtures then. In general, obviously there's a sort of debate of what to do with Antonio because their fixtures are pretty they are tough. It's Liverpool this week, followed by Wolves, which is nice, and then it's Man City and Brighton, Chelsea. So yeah, Antonio's fixtures aren't great. I think I'm sticking by him for now. If again, it's all lifts and buts. If Kane starts firing and I can free up the money, maybe that's a switch I do. I don't know, but right now I'm happy with Antonio. And Liverpool and City have shown that they can be scored against as well. They both conceded 2 last game. Was it against what would be considered inferior sides? Palace were at the Etihad and scored 2. So West Ham are scoring goals in every game, and West Ham are. When you look at West Ham's fixtures, you can't look at it like a team like it's like Norwich with those fixtures. West Ham are punching, they're in the sort of top 4 or 6 teams in the league, right? So when they're playing against these other big teams, they're going to be equally as scared as them, and they're not going to just some of these smaller teams sort of almost accept losing 2-0 against City, don't they? Or they accept losing against Liverpool 1-0 if they keep it tight. Whereas West Ham are going to go there and see themselves as almost equals to these teams, and they're going to try and take them on. So I don't see any reason why West Ham don't score goals in these next few, and I think Antonio will chip in. So that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, I got to keep him a bit longer term. I think Antonio is the type of player that he can really just upset in big games. He really is so physical up top, and I think it doesn't matter what centre back it is, they could struggle to handle him, and I think West Ham, as you say, will go for it. I think they will have chances. I mean, obviously, if that was Norwich, Newcastle, Southampton, whatever else, I'd be a bit more optimistic for the coming weeks. But I think it's kind of it's made a little bit more. It's made a bit easier to stomach in the fact that those hard fixtures are kind of sandwiched with okay fixtures. If it was Liverpool, City, Chelsea, back to back to back, I'd be thinking, maybe I should get rid of them this week. But it's Liverpool, and then you have Wolves, and then you have Man City, and then you have Brighton, who are good, but it's Brighton. You can see the future West Ham, and then it's Chelsea. Oh god! But then you have Burnley, and it just I'd be interested to see what actually comes after that. But
you're right there. They are towards the bottom of this fixture ticker, but it isn't like bad games against the best defences. They are games that West Ham aren't going to go through that fixture run and not score goals. So I'm happy enough with Antonio, despite what on the surface looks like tough fixtures. When you think about it a bit more, I think I'm confident in West Ham scoring goals.
But after those tough fixtures, they have a glorious run for sort of 7-8 game weeks with only really Arsenal there. After that Chelsea game and Burnley game, they play Arsenal. And then they've Norwich, which is a great. You're going to want them for that. You're going to want them all for that. And then you have Southampton, Watford, Palace, Leeds. Then you have United, and you have Watford, Leicester, Newcastle, Wolves. So there will be a long period there where people are going to be wanting these West Ham players. So to be burning transfers now before international breaks and whatever to get rid of it's just not for me. I mean, I got rid of Ben Rama last week, but I'm happy to keep one. If I had 2 or 3 West Ham players, maybe it would be a bit much. But I think having one of them there.
Exactly, and we know how well Antonio has performed this season for his price. So, I think it's not like when you've got someone like Pookie who's maybe, or someone like that who's scoring the odd goal here or there against the poor teams, and then has got a tough run. Antonio's been doing the business to like an unbelievable degree. So even if he regresses slightly and maybe he blanks versus Liverpool but gets a brace versus Wolves and then just gets a cheeky assist versus City and then a goal against Brighton, that's going to be a good return, isn't it, over the next 4? Just whilst we've got the fixtures up, John, I don't know if you want to talk about sort of cheaper strikers, because people might be looking to free up money for Son in the future or Kane, and if they've got 2 mid-price strikers, maybe they want a cheaper striker to afford Kane or Son. So anything stand out there? I guess for me, just to start us off,
what do you count as a cheap striker?
Yeah, so it's interesting. It's obviously you've got to figure out how much money you need. If you can only afford up to say 5.5, then that would even rule out players like Hwang and Ivan Toney. But for this example, I guess we can go as high as Toney's around 6.5, isn't he? I'd say that was at the expensive end of a cheap striker. A real budget option would be sort of under 6 million for a striker, but they are hard to obviously just to find. But Brozier's an interesting one. He got an ankle injury last week, so he missed out. But before then, he burst onto the scene, young kid, scored in back-to-back games, and looked really dangerous in those games as well. He didn't just sort of score his only chance; he was looking really dangerous. He's got Villa at home this week, followed up by Norwich. Then it's obviously a tough trip to Anfield, but then it's home games against Leicester and Brighton. So out of his next 4 games that he could score in, the only worry, and Brozier's ultra cheap, so he's, Toney we see as a cheap striker at 6.5, 6.6, whatever it is, whereas Brozier's 1.5 cheaper than him at 5 million. So that's a real big, obviously, that 1.5 million could do wonders for the rest of your squad, couldn't it? So that's something to factor in.
A big enough. Sorry.
Go on.
No, go for it.
I was just going to say he's also cheap enough to then bench if you did have a really, a lot of us have got really good defenders at the minute, so you could almost switch to a 4-4-2, play Reece James, Chilwell, Trent and Cancelo, or Livramento, or whatever you wanted to do, and have Brozier as a really good first sub, because he is cheap enough. Whereas with someone like Toney, who's in my squad at 6.5, I never really want to bench him because he feels too expensive to bench.
It's something just to point out, I suppose, in that kind of budget forward area, which is it's a bit of a shame with the fixture run, because if you search by forwards under the price of say 6 million, Dennis and King are the top two Watford strikers, 5.2, 5.6. They've both got 38 points this year, which tops the strikers under 6.4. But when you look at the fixture ticker, it's horrible. Like, it really isn't nice. Arsenal, United, is that Leicester, Chelsea, City, Brentford? I can't really see from here, but
that's right. Yeah,
like, like that kind of takes them out of it. So then you're looking a bit further down, and then you've sort of Hwang and Benteke, and I mean, no one wants Pookie. There's Armstrong, Rodrigo, Broja, who you've mentioned. Yeah. I feel like we're kind of lacking down there a bit, or am I just being a bit?
I think it's normally. I think it's okay, to be fair, because some years you'll get literally no strikers under 6 million doing anything. Whereas at least there is sort of those options of. I know King and Dennis have got poor fixtures, but they've still got some goal for it, and players like Broja and Hwang. Hwang probably isn't on your. I'm not looking at your list, but because he missed the first few game weeks, he's probably not on there. But in terms of his, his goal,
he actually is. He's, in fairness, now he missed the first 3 weeks, but he's actually third on that list.
Yeah, so he's doing quite well. And let me just have a look at Wolves fixtures. Where are they? Yeah,
I think he stands out because of that Norwich fixture in particular as well. Like, if you had to bring one of them in now, I'd kind of be looking there. Just Crystal Palace, West Ham, they aren't great, but then you have Norwich, which is a big one, and then you could maybe look to ship him out after Burnley before Liverpool and City or something. I don't know, but
yeah, exactly. So when obviously this is arranged by a 6 game week period, if you wanted to go on Fantasy Football Hub yourself, you can obviously filter out the game week range, and the only reason Wolves are that low down is because that Liverpool and City game in 15 and 16. But yeah, if you have someone like Hwang, play him for the next 4 games, at all games he can score him, and then move him on when their fixtures turn tough in week 15. It is a bit of an awkward if you're looking to bring in one of those strikers, one of those cheaper strikers, and you know that you're only going to keep him 4 weeks. It's kind of booking in a transfer. 4 game weeks is just about enough to justify it, I'd say, and especially as it is a cheaper striker. So yeah, there are some decent options there. My favourite, I think I'd probably say Broja if I knew he was nailed on, and I think we haven't really spoken about Benteke either, who's doing better this season. He's just, again, he's
like a meme player.
Yeah, and it's biases in our own head, and sometimes they serve us very well. A bias against Benteke over the last couple of years would have served you well, but he is performing better than he is, and he doesn't deserve to be kind of a joke option anymore. I'm not saying I probably wouldn't go for him, etc., all the normal caveats, but he's moved out from being a kind of joke player to being a decent cheap option now, I'd say, under Vieira.
Andrew Savage in the comments saying you're a legend. You're a top geezer.
Andrew Savage is my mate from uni.
Lots of compliments today, Wes, aren't we? Jeez, I like this. I like this crowd.
Andrew Savage is my mate, though, so I don't know if that one counts. But yeah, cheers, cheers, Savala.
I'm saying I like this crowd, Wes, but let's just go and see something before we go any further. Does this crowd like us? 96 of them like us. 3 people don't like us, which isn't a good ratio. So the 200 people that have abstained from voting, please go and tell us that you like us. Otherwise, Will not have us back.
And if you've hit dislike, go and change your mind and change it to a like.
Yeah, go and change your mind. I mean, we're nice guys. Be our friends. Shake my hand. I nearly got in a fight about 2 weeks ago, Wiz.
Did you? Tell that story.
Speaking about being a nice guy, and it was all because of my dad. It wasn't all because of my dad. The guy was being an absolute tool, right? This is a hard story to tell without Carson. 2 guys beside our table, and a couple of girls, and we were at this big sort of jazz weekend in Cork, and this guy kept bumping into my girlfriend, and when she turned around and told him basically get out of here in much more savage words. Yeah. And he kind of apologised and whatever else, turned around, was sitting there, and then he bumps into my mum. And my mum now, she's an angel. She's a lovely lady, and she's like softest heart in the world. And he like leans back with a camera like for a selfie, and then bumps in there, and she's like, sorry. And he was like, oh, do you want in a photo or what? Right? My dad goes over, grabs him by the shoulder, and just says to him, you don't know who you're dealing with. Turn round or I'll blabbery beep, 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 beep. Came back and sat beside me, and your man's looking over in disbelief. And I said to my dad, what did you say? And he told me, and my dad was like, he'd knock me out. I need to give him some doubt. So that's what I was like, you don't know who you're dealing with? My dad's not a fighter. I said, oh, Tones, you've got us in a fight. Had to go over, and I just thought of it because it was like, be my friend, shake my hand. I went over and calmed it all down. We didn't get in a fight. I just said to him, like, amigo, you don't want to fight, I don't want to fight. And his girlfriend was twisting, trying to get him in a fight. His girlfriend was dangerous. She was like slabbering away, trying to get him in a fight. I said, look, you don't want to fight me, I don't want to fight you. We're all going to get thrown out into the rain. No one's going to have anywhere to go. Shake my hand, be my friend, watch your elbows. I'll make sure my dad doesn't kill you, and you have a great night. And he said, yeah, and he shook my hand, and that was that. But I tell you what, it's the first time I've nearly been in a fight in like 10 years.
Yeah, should have just bottled him and walked away.
I know. Do you know, it was close. It was tense. I'm not used to social interactions. It's COVID, like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, yeah. But no, well done calming it down and just chilling it out, a bit like what we were saying earlier with FPL. Maybe he had a bad FPL game week and he just wanted to fight.
Maybe he had a bad FPL game week. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. But yeah, anyway.
John, just quickly, someone in the comments said hi, Fergie.
Do I... Wait there, is Fergie not bald?
He is, yeah. So yeah, we're not Fergie. If you want to watch his
Fred,
stuff,
get out of here, Fred.
search Green Arrow podcast, Fred.
Get out of here. Go and find Fergie. This is not.
That's an excellent podcast with Fergie and Adam Hopcroft. But yeah, he's not here. Maybe we should. People seem to drop Fergie's name in a lot. Maybe we need to get him on as a guest.
Do you know what I'm going to ask everyone to do on the channel, and we'll get straight back to FPL? I want all of you to do this. I'm hoping Fergie hasn't watched this minute. I want you all to go onto the Green Arrow podcast each week and I'll be like, hi John, hi Wes, or where's John, where's Wes? Because we get that about him. Go over and give him it about us.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sam DT, yeah, you've joined in the non-FPL chat. Sorry, I tried to derail it. I was just really shocked. I don't fight people and it nearly happened, so the story came up. Right, let's go. Fixtures done. We've looked at the fixtures, yeah?
Yeah, we talk. So sorry, I'm just we are just getting this up for the comments. FPL Gold's talking about Benteke last season, who did well, and I can't actually remember that fully, but yeah, I do sort of remember we discussed it last year, didn't we? And John L said potential fight between Irish people after alcohol. Never heard that before.
Is
so
that...
a bit.
Yeah, okay, fair.
I don't think the English are much better in that regard, though, John. So no. I don't think we can talk.
To give you an idea of the type of guy we're talking about here, this was the Jazz weekend. Everyone was wearing shirts and dresses, and this guy had a football top on. That's the type of person we're dealing with. Anyway, let's move on.
Move on.
Maybe he's in the crowd. He's probably one of the dislikers. Right, yeah. Let's go on. So, something we said about 40 minutes ago that we'd speak about much earlier than this was basically just the Chelsea defence. Reece James, Chilwell. Yeah. It's everyone's talking about it. We're all sick to death of hearing of it. But in 2 or 3 minutes, Wes, in a nutshell, what are your thoughts on Chilwell versus Reece James?
Yeah, it's a big decision for a lot of people, including myself, which is why we got so many questions on it at the start, and it's why I'm kind of struggling with it. So I don't know if you've got the graphic up of Bakar's tweet yet, John. But if not, pull that up.
Yeah,
as John's pulling that up, basically the sort of take home from it, from Bakar's done a thread as well, so you can easily find that on Twitter.
It's up.
And this is just one of his tweets in the context of a whole stream of stuff about these two, but this one was interesting in terms of the stats suggest that Reece James is performing more likely to get attacking returns because I can't actually see it on my screen yet, but you guys will probably be able to see it. The minutes per
shot in the box,
all that sort of stuff shows that he's therefore more. Not doesn't necessarily show that, but it implies that he's going to get more. The expected goal involvement, the one at the bottom, per 183 minutes. For Reece James, rather than Chilwell 387. So yeah, Reece James has got the better stats, you would say. However, it's that whole thing again. This doesn't show it here, but I know for a fact that Chilwell has never come off the bench for Chelsea in a Premier League game under Tuchel, whereas Reece James it's happened around. I can't remember the exact number. It's roughly 9 or 10 times. Okay, so what that means is if you've got a Livramento 6-pointer sitting there, or like me last week, Loughton 14 points, and that ends up getting blocked by Reece James not starting and getting subbed on, that's going to be a bit frustrating. Whereas with Chilwell, he tends to stay on the bench. Now, it's obviously not an exact science. There's no reason why Chilwell's capable of coming off the bench because he came off the bench in the recent Carabao Cup game. So, yes, he can come off the bench, but it is something to definitely think about. The data suggests that if they are both likely to, get benched in the odd game here or there, but if you've got a good sub, Chilwell being benched basically doesn't matter. Whereas with Reece James, if he comes on, it is going to be frustrating. But having said that, is Reece James's upside in these games where he scored a brace last game, and these stats show that he's more likely to get the attacking returns? Is that enough to outweigh the odd bench appearance? And even that trend from the past might not continue. Maybe Chilwell gets subbed on a few times over the next few game weeks, whereas Reece James stays on the bench. We just don't know for sure. But it is interesting seeing these stats and then also thinking about the subbed on thing. So where do you stand on these two, John?
I mean, I have Chilwell. It's not one of those that I actually haven't really thought about this because I have
you've already got
Chilwell
one of
now,
them. Yeah.
and I
So
don't
it doesn't.
think if you've
Yeah.
either of them, you should be looking at burning
No.
transfers to go to the other. Maybe on a
No.
wild card you could debate it, but like
Yeah.
for me, I'm with Chilwell, and that's fine, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
I think for me, Chilwell obviously missed a lot of the start of the season, and then the last 4 weeks or so, he's played 90 minutes every week, displaced
Yeah.
Alonso comfortably. Alonso will probably get some Champions League minutes or whatever else, cup games, but I mean that could change over time, as you say. But I think that the fact that Reece James has come on in sub appearances 4 times already this season for like 1-pointers. Livramento for me is like a strong bench option.
Yeah.
And I just feel that I'd rather who seems to be the more nailed player at the minute. And then, if he does get rotated for Alonso, knowing that there's a higher chance he doesn't come on now. It's basically exactly what you said. That said, James, I mean, these stats are obviously pretty damning. He looked dangerous in the last game. I think they're both cracking footballers, but I mean, there's the whole variance side of it. I mean, there's going to be weeks in a row where James doesn't get anything. I mean, Chilwell's not going to score every week forever, but I mean, even with a clean sheet there, he got 8 points last week, didn't he? Or did he have an assist?
Yeah, he did. He got 2 bonus, I think, and obviously Reece James was going to smash the 3 bonus. So, out of all the players who didn't do, didn't get an attacking return, he smashed the bonus points system. It's so tough, and it's one I'm still debating for my own team, so I can't sit here and be like and make an argument. Well, I can make an argument for both of them, and they've both got pros and cons, which is why. Well, they've both got massive upside. They're both amazing, by the way. Like, I want to pick up a point at the start, John, where you said you've got Chilwell and you wouldn't be transferring him out. So, yeah, even if you've got 2 free transfers and you want to use just one on jumping from one to the other, do not do that. Whichever one you've got, stick. And the only decision you've got to make about these two is whether, if you're sitting there, watching with one of these players, the only decision is, you definitely keep that one, and it's whether you bring in the other one as well. Like Guy Parfitch just said in the comments, get them both. So, yeah. Absolutely, I would get both if I had 2 free transfers. I might get both, but I only have one. I don't want to take a -4 to remove, say, Rudiger to him. Like, I'm removing that same clean sheet potential, so I wouldn't do that for a minus. But yeah, if I was on a wild card, I'd probably be getting both. I might work my way up to getting both, maybe. But yeah, in terms of this isn't going to give you the answer about who's best between James and Chilwell, but it is going to give you these stats on screen. It's going to give you our opinions on them as attacking assets, and it's going to give you that vital information about who gets subbed on when they're on the bench versus who doesn't so far under Tuchel. And like I've said, it's around 10 in the Premier League for Reece James and 0 for Chilwell, and that's from not just this season, that's from whenever Tuchel was appointed, which is really, really key information. So
I was gonna try and squeeze an answer out of you, and say, if I told you now that you had Chilwell, how does that make you feel? But I've a feeling that they're so close that you wouldn't really care if you got either of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And at the end of the day, in FPL, you've got to make decisions. So I will have to bring one of these in before the deadline, and it's obviously a Friday deadline. So I will have to make my bed and lay in it at some point. Will I get it right? Will I get it wrong? I don't know. But I'm happy with bringing either of those in. They are 2 good options, and it's like that most weeks. Like when you're thinking of who to bring in, let's say budget strikers, Hwang versus Brozier. You might bring one in and the other one actually smashes it, and then you get annoyed. But they're both good options at their price point. Then you've got someone like, people keep saying Foden or Mount. That could be a similar sort of thing, or Son versus someone. You know what I'm trying to get at? You're normally bringing in decent assets. But yeah, if you've got one, don't flip flop. If you've got someone like a Rudiger, there's so many debates in this. Like, do you jump? So for me, for example, for my team, I'm considering Diaz out, who is a player that's not got enough attacking potential really for 6 million ish, and City aren't even racking up the clean sheets like they used to. So he for my team, it makes sense to go Diaz to one of these guys. Would I do Rudiger to one of these guys as using a free transfer to do that? I don't know. Maybe because their attacking upside is so great. I don't know. But yeah, they are both good options, and they probably both smash it over the next few weeks. So maybe it's like a point where you don't have to worry about it. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I should just pick one and go for it. And their price is really similar as well. Normally you could sort of say, they're 50-50, so go with the cheaper one. Reece James is 5.8, Chilwell 6.0, I think. So you're saving 0.2 on Reece James, which is obviously a tick in his box, but only a small tick because it's not a big difference in price. So yeah, I don't have the answer, but just when you're making your FPL decisions, just get all this information before you take the plunge and make the transfer. Find out who's come off the bench more, James or Chilwell, and the information's out there. I've just obviously told it to you, so that's going to help you guys. And this information here, in terms of what the stats show is more creative. And then if you've watched a lot of Chelsea games, you can also make your own mind up on, I've seen some people in the comments already say, oh, in my opinion, Chilwell looks more threatening or more attacking or whatever. If that's your opinion from watching the games, then fine, take that into account. I watched them both and I think they both look really attacking. So again, that doesn't really help me in terms of thinking which one looks more attacking. I'm not actually sure from the eye test.
Tell me this, Wes. We haven't really discussed captaincy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think at the minute it's a very boring topic. It was last week, and I think it will be for the short-term future anyway. Yeah. Everyone it's Mo Salah. But I mean, this week, again, there are a couple of options. I'm saying it again. I did it last week. I did it the week before when he scored 1 million points. I'm going to go Salah, but I'm also going to say that I don't think you're mad if you do decide to have a ballsy punt on Tony. If you do go here, you do go there, because there's some decent fixtures out there. But before we really get into that, just a wee shout, we haven't said this yet, this podcast was for everyone to check us out on Twitter. That's my Twitter below me. I talk about all sorts of football and stuff, so I might bore you a bit, but Wes is a big FPL account, so go and give him a follow at FPL Heisenberg. Now, in terms of captaincy for the upcoming week, I mean, in my team, it is Salah, but I mean, even just looking there at options, maybe I don't have it in me to go Chelsea defender, but maybe people will be looking at that at Burnley. Maybe not. Burnley have been scoring goals. Tony against Norwich and Buemo if he's going to be playing. I mean, there are some decent fixtures out there.
Vardy's got Leeds away, and obviously Leeds are conceding a lot of, I think, conceded goals, and their keeper's made the most saves out of any goalkeeper, so they've probably conceded the most shots on target. I don't have the stats to hand, but Vardy hasn't really got that current form, has he? So, yeah, for me, there's no other standout option other than Salah. If I was going to go for someone else in my personal team, it would probably be, like, let's say, for example, it breaks that, Salah's got a sickness bug. Then I obviously wouldn't want to transfer out Salah, so I'd then just look at changing my captaincy to maybe Vardy, or then maybe someone like Chilwell or Reece James, because they're home to Burnley and they have got a lot of attacking threat. But yeah, for me, it is fairly boring. It's fairly straightforward. I'm picking Salah rightly or wrongly. Will he be the highest scoring player out of my attackers? Maybe not, but I think he's still in really, really good form, and he's added that sort of creative edge that he was sort of like, I'd watched him in previous seasons and he was never setting other people up. He was just shooting. Now he's creating proper chances for players. So that's adding to his assist threat. We know about his goal threat. So, and West Ham are, we know West Ham are a good team, and they are a good team for sure. And they will probably finish top 6 at least. But they are still leaking goals week in, week out. So are they going to be able to keep Salah out? Salah's got a really good record against West Ham as well. If that's something I don't put an awful lot of weight into, but it will fill that player with a bit of confidence if he's been to that ground before and done well and things like that, or if he knows how to, if he knows how to read Fabianski's body language or whatever, and the defenders, blah blah blah. So he's got a good record against West Ham for those of you who like that sort of stat. So yeah, it is Salah for me, but I think last week was like you almost had to do Salah, no other choice. Whereas with this week, if you did want to take a bit of a punt on a Reece James or Chilwell, then I'd do that. I think you were saying the sort of Brentford guys because they had Norwich. I'm still not convinced for captaincy for those guys just because they're not showing enough form for me to be a captaincy option. They could obviously make that look stupid and go smash Norwich. Of course they could, but it's just not how I choose a captain myself.
He's gonna laugh his head off because he's probably just shite-bagged me and got me. But FPL Rubber Ducky quacking it in the comments. Says Salah has a sickness bug with question marks. Have I missed another comment?
No. I just said, I was talking hypothetically. I said if Salah had a sickness bug, I would then not want to transfer him out, and I'd then captain someone else.
You've heard me clicking away here. Like I just seen that comment. I was like, what? And I'm looking at Colin Hayes and Ben Dinnery and everyone. But anyway, FPL Rubber Ducky, just a shout out. He's always doing Twitter Spaces there. So if you're into that, go and follow him on Twitter. I always see him chatting away, quacking away. But yeah. Captaincy for me, yeah, it's you've said it all. I mean, I don't think it's that hard this week, really. I mean, Salah's the easy option. He's the option that everyone's going to pick. I think the fact that West Ham and Liverpool are playing each other, it takes out obviously the West Ham options if they had an easy fixture. Chelsea, Burnley. I mean, Chelsea, there's no one up top you really want. City and United are playing each other. I mean, Brentford have Norwich, but as you say, they aren't really proven. So really, there aren't a lot of options other than truly differential options. Maybe one of the Arsenal lads against Watford, but I mean, not for me.
Someone said Aubameyang early, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got him and you fancy it, but what I would just to end this sort of captaincy section, what I would say is don't. If you do fancy someone else other than Salah, if that's your opinion and it's based on something reasonable, like Aubameyang doing well, or like Chilwell and Reece James obviously doing really well, and Vardy's got say Leeds or whatever it is. If that's your opinion and you're strong on it, then go for it. Don't captain Salah because everyone else is
Yeah.
and his effective ownership and all that. Don't play like that. That's not why I'm captaining Salah this week. Salah is, for me, the best option to pick, and that's why I'll pick him. If everyone else picks him, good luck to him. If no one else picks Salah, I'm still picking him. That's what I would say. If you fancy someone else and you think for your reasons that player is a better choice than Salah, I disagree, but that's your choice and go for it. Don't go for a captain just because everyone else is. It's the wrong way to play.
It's the wrong way to play. Have conviction and, I don't know, make your own decisions. Right, Wes, it is kind of time to wrap up. We probably should just wrap up, but we did promise 5 minutes of quick fire questions for people that we missed at the start.
Let's do 5 minutes.
So we'll do 5 minutes. We'll wrap this up in about literally 5 minutes. I've got the clock. So everyone, we'll do a few more. KD Pa has already asked Vardy or Tony. Maybe he suggests them for captaincy, but if you had to pick one of them, just let's take that as a question. Vardy or Tony, who you picking? I know there's a big price differential, but
if
you had to captain one of them and both were in your team, who you captaining?
For that, because that was in the captaincy section, wasn't it? So out of those two for captaincy, I'd go Vardy.
Would you pick Saka or Smith Rowe?
Smith Rowe, slightly cheaper, on slightly better form.
Would you bench Gallagher or Diaz?
Diaz.
Grealish to Zaha or Gallagher?
Probably Gallagher. That extra money saving is going to come in handy, and he's doing well as well.
Duffy or Livramento?
Livramento.
Victor wants to know, will we start the pod again? This is it, baby. It's on Fantasy Football Hub. We're no longer putting it out in pod form, so yeah.
Duffy home to Newcastle, actually. Two very tough. They're both decent cheap options and both got some attacking threat and got decent home fixtures. I'll stick with Livramento, though. It's tough, though. Really tough.
Ronaldo to Kane for a -4.
No. Definitely
Rafinha or Smith Rowe?
For this week, Smith Rowe's fixture's too good and his form's good as well. I don't want to say to people bench Rafinha against a leaky Leicester though.
Right. I want to keep up with these, so let's go. Rafinha to Jota?
No.
Mbuemo, Livramento or Cancelo?
What to start one?
Who to bench? Sorry, who to bench? I should have said that.
Mbuemo, Livramento or who? Sorry.
Cancelo,
I think. I don't know.
Start Matip or Benrahma?
Benrahma. Matip or Benrahma?
Matip or Benrahma?
Benrahma, yeah, for sure.
Matip could get rotated again for Konate, so be careful there. Start Semedo or Livramento?
Livramento, I think, yeah.
Smith Rowe or Mbuemo? Might have had this already, but here we go.
Smith Rowe.
Would you take Mount out for Son?
No, one more week because Mount looks like he's back in training.
Christensen to Chilwell or save the transfer?
No. I'd probably do that. Christensen's a bit of a rotation risk, so yeah.
Rafinha, Cancelo, Antonio, Livramento. Bench 2 for Guy.
I could say them again.
Rafinha, Cancelo, Antonio, Livramento.
Livramento and Cancelo, but it's tough. They're all good options there.
Yeah. Mount, Rafinha and Greenwood out for Son, Jota and Hudson-Odoi for a -4. Yay or nay? No. James or Tony captain? Ooh.
James out of those two.
Ho ho! Salah has missed a game around this time for the last 2 seasons. Bench Rafinha or Antonio?
Salah's not missing this game. Say that again, sorry.
Oh, bench Rafinha or Antonio?
Probably Antonio because he's playing a better defence. I don't want to bench either of those players though, so your balance is crazy for me.
Hold Laporte? ?
Probably not. He's suspended now, isn't he? And he's probably rotation risk with John Stones there, and he's 5.5-ish, so you could probably go to Chilwell or Reece James quite easily.
Antonio or Hwang?
Probably still favour Antonio. I don't know.
Start Sar or Livramento?
Livramento, SARS. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, no, Livramento.
White or Livramento?
White. White looked a little bit more attacking recently, and he's at home to Watford.
Ramsdale or Sanchez?
Um, Ramsdale,
Start Armstrong or Rafinha?
Rafinha all day long.
Should Khaled give KDB one more week?
KDB, maybe because he should play this game, shouldn't he? But yeah, I
It's
don't think he's an
United as
asset you
well,
want
though.
long term. Yeah, I think
Um,
you're better off with Foden, much cheaper, more nailed on, more goal threat.
um, okay, where are we looking here? Vardy or Kane for captain?
Um, Vardy for me out of those two.
And okay, we'll do one or two more and we'll wrap it up because we've hit that 5 minutes, as I said.
Yeah.
Mount or Mbuemo for Broja?
I don't really understand the question. They're different
Yeah,
positions.
yeah, I was thinking that, but
So as in maybe he's going to bench one of them. So and start Brozier. So I'd probably bench. I'd probably start the two he said. I don't really understand the question. Let's move on.
yeah. Okay, this is what we'll do. We do this every week, and we haven't said it this week. I've just seen Pepsi or Coke. Right, put in a couple of questions that aren't FPL related, and we'll finish with them for 2 minutes. But until they're in,
Yeah.
who would
So
you?
I've just seen Richard Saunders Irving said. I think he said this a couple of times earlier as well. 3.9 million for a defender, Armati or Johnson. I'd probably go Armati. He seems to have got his place back at Leicester. Don't know how long that will last. Whereas Johnson's probably going to lose his place to Kufal pretty soon. Armati scored last night in the conference in the Europa League. Johnson scored last week for Leicester, West Ham in the Prem. But yeah, I think I'd probably go Armati. But probably long term, they're both going to be not nailed on.
Do you bench Kufal or Shaw?
Andrew Savage, what's a legend? I'd bench Shaw because Shaw's playing Man City and United have obviously been really poor recently. Defensively, they look all over the shop, whereas West Ham, yes, he's got Liverpool. Ideally, you wouldn't want to start either of those, but yeah, I'd bench Shaw out of those two.
Okay. One more. One more. I've seen it and I've lost it. Trent or Cancelo?
Trent.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Pepsi or Coke?
Coke.
Coke. I am a Pepsi guy. But do you want to know something interesting that isn't interesting? I lost my taste on at the start of January this year with COVID, and I still haven't got it
Yeah.
back. I've got about 5%.
Really?
But cola, so Coke or Pepsi, tastes rancid to me now. I can't drink it. It's horrible. So I drink
Yeah.
like Fantas now, like citrusy drinks. There you
Can
go.
you taste that? So you taste some things.
I can taste some things, yeah. Citrus kind of
Yeah.
comes through a bit, but other than that,
I,
like citrus really comes through to the extent that if someone asked a beer question, if I drink like Hop House, it's
yeah.
Guinness's lager, I can just taste peach
I
because
really.
there are
I
peach
could.
notes in it. It's very strange.
Yeah. I had that. I had COVID back in March 2020 and had that taste thing as well, but I think it only lasted about 2 months for me. So I was
Yeah.
quite lucky compared to some people have it like, yeah, like you, like what's that, 10 months or so? It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
No, it's probably going forever or for at least years. But anyway, Americano or flat white.
No, I've got a thing with coffee where it just annoys me how there's like 20 different choices of coffee. All I want is just go into a coffee shop, say, yeah, I want a coffee, a bit of milk, some sugar,
Oh,
drop
I
down.
am different. I am iced latte guy.
John.
I swear to
John.
God. But I mean, it depends. We're coming into cappuccino weather for me.
Are we?
I mean,
Just,
yeah, it's getting a bit
just
colder. But for me in the summer, I love nothing more than a little iced
that,
latte with one
that's fine.
squirt, no more of caramel.
No, that's fine. It's when it's a choice between a cappuccino, a flat white, and Americano. Just give me coffee with a bit of milk and some sugar.
I don't know, Wes.
So we differ on that then.
We're different a lot here, yeah. I don't know if we can be friends anymore. Who's your favourite NFL team? I don't follow NFL.
No interest
There's
in
definitely a team
NFL.
called the Bucks or something. There's probably like a Shark team and maybe like a Buffaloes or something. The Bears.
Yeah, no interest in
The
NFL. Sorry.
Patriots are a thing.
Yeah.
But they're kind of like the Man City, I think. Anyway, Marmite, yay or nay?
Yay.
Never really had it. What? Yeah, I've never really had it, just because it's not really an Irish thing. Best Belgian beer?
Couldn't name you one to be honest, John.
Is Erdinger Belgian? I like Erdinger. I'll go for that.
Yeah, I think it's nice.
Guinness or Island's Edge? It's Guinness.
Guinness or what?
Island's Edge, you don't even know what that is, so it's
No,
Guinness.
no idea what it is. Guinness is an average drink, though, John, isn't it?
Fuck off. Oh, God. You did that to me. An hour and 12 minutes, Wes. An hour and 12 minutes. I did so well.
Did very well.
And then you said that.
Yeah, I'll be showing Will that.
Don't. My goodness.
John L in the comments has been very funny today. He says John iced latte, Nellis ice baby.
Ice baby, you know yourself. What's your favourite movie of 2021 or one you'd highly recommend?
I don't think I've really watched the movie this year. I can't really think of any.
Do you know what was a really good movie when I watched it? And I think it was 2020 or 2019, but it was one of the last movies I watched and thought that was an amazing movie. The Green Book.
I've not seen it.
Really nice movie. Other than that, I don't know if anything really jumps out at me this year. I can't really remember. You don't go to the cinema as much.
Nah, more of a series, man. Now there's a one on. We know about all the sort of, The Wire, Breaking Bad, and all that. Obviously with my name, but one that's not well known is called Bosch on Amazon Prime.
Bosch pissed me off.
You didn't like it?
Where's we're falling out? Do you know what annoyed me about Bosch? Do you know what I hate? I hate series that make the guy seem like, this is my case, get off my case, and he like chucks the folder at the wall and storms out of the office and he goes rogue. It's like, do you know what it is? In real life, police officers just wouldn't expose themselves like that. They would abide by the law and they would listen to their superior and they would go home and leave their gun in the office. They don't get that emotionally attached to the case and it's my case and like punch a guy because he tries to take a folder. That's what put me off Bosch, but I did still give it like a season and a half.
He'd probably be sacked, yeah.
He'd be sacked by now. That's what gets me. He would have been sacked 3 seasons ago, but that's just me.
I just saw we'll do last question, then we'll wrap this up. Squid Game or Squirt Game? I don't know what Squirt Game is from Josh Martis there. Do you know what Squirt Game is?
Sounds like my kind of party.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. Squid Game was good apart from the ending.
We won't give away the end if people haven't seen it, but Squid Game I enjoyed, but it was overhyped in terms of, you've got to watch it.
Do you know what I don't rate?
Sorry.
If anyone's in the comments and your kids dressed up as Squid Game characters for Halloween, you're a failure as a parent.
That's extreme, but
it's extreme. But it's my call. I'm calling it because I was out and like I seen these kids dressed up as Squid Game characters and they were like 8 years old, and I was thinking they don't want to dress up as that if they haven't watched it, and if they've watched it, you're doing it wrong as a parent. Whereas if your kids watched Squid Game,
no. They're like under 4, so they're definitely not watching it.
Yeah, sitting there with the dyed red hair, big fans of it,
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm calling that. I might lose some fans, some friends. I might lose some, I don't know, but it is what it is. I'd be interested to see if people agree. Alright, we're kind of there. Succession gets a lot of high ratings, and what I can't believe, Wes, and the reason I'm still talking, is that over 300 people have stayed for this.
They're loving it.
What is that about? Fair play to you. We need to start a podcast where we talk about random crap. No, we definitely don't. Right. I think we answer this one nearly every week, and then we'll kind of wrap it up. Ketchup or HP sauce?
We do. HP sauce for me, John.
Yeah, and I'm ketchup. But here, have you ever had HP Fruity?
No.
Everyone.
Are you good?
Go to the shop, and instead of picking up brown sauce next time, pick it up, but also pick up Fruity. HP Fruity. Might be a Northern Irish thing, I'm not sure. So yeah, go and get Fruity and then send me a photo. And yes, I agree, Guy. I said fans instead of friends and by mistake, and I feel like a pretentious bad word. Right. Is that it?
That's it. Let's wrap it up, John.
People are still flowing in my comments. It's hard to walk away, but I think we need to go. Everyone, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for staying around to see us talk crap for another 5 minutes at the end. Yeah, if you haven't liked it, please do before you leave, because I know once you leave, you won't come back. And, subscribe to Fantasy Football Hub. Find us both on Twitter, all that. And, I look forward to seeing some photos of HP Fruity and let me know what you think of it.
One last request is also just to spread, like next week you'll probably see a tweet from either myself or Fantasy Football Hub at this, at 11 a.m. on the day, on the Friday or whatever it is. If you see a tweet about this thing, just give it a retweet or go and do your own tweet about it or whatever. Just help us spread the word even more.
There you are. Keep your eyes peeled. And yeah, I have a feeling. Oh yeah, next week, Wes, are we doing this? Or it's international break, isn't it? So we'll probably take a week off or what?
Next game. It will be obviously for next game week, so it'll probably be closer to the game week deadline. So 2 physical weeks from now. yeah, we won't miss a game week.
Okay, perfect. Good stuff. Well, we'll see you soon, and thanks a million again. And yeah, best
Cheers,
of luck
guys.
for the weekend. Let's hope we all score 1,000,000 points.